Hello everyone and welcome to the Hippie Geeks. This video is part 2 in a series showing you how to make a cheap, durable, upgradable lighting softbox. If you haven't watched the first video, make sure to check that out. The first version of the light was exactly what I wanted, an affordable and durable 400 watt light for shooting video. However, it quickly became apparent what the first upgrade should be. 400 watts of light is great, but there are times when I wanted less. The only way to do that with the base version is to remove bulbs, which is functional but not very convenient. The other problem is that there was no on-off switch, and while it isn't a huge hassle to unplug it when I'm done for the day, it would certainly be nice to be able to switch it off. Here are the materials you will need for this project. Several of these pieces are reused from my original light. Unfortunately, the bulbs are the one part that is not able to be reused as they cannot be dimmed. Make sure that the CFL or LED bulbs that you buy are dimmable. It will say if they are on the box. These are 100 watt equivalent 5000K LED bulbs. On the upside, they use even less power than the CFLs I was using before at a mere 13 watts. These are the splitters that allow us to use 4 bulbs in one socket. This is the same cord as before, though obviously disconnected. Here is the light socket that we used previously along with its mounting hardware. Be sure to keep all of it as it will all get reused. This is a household dimmer switch. They run about $10, just make sure that it says it will control dimmable LEDs and CFLs. Also, be sure to get the single pole version, not the 3-pole. Mine came with 3 wire nuts. If yours does not, make sure to pick some up. Last but not least, here is the housing for our dimmer switch. It is a single gang plastic switch box and should run you around $1. Step 1. Prepare the sweet blue box. The box that I bought came with wings that hold it securely to the drywall when installed. As this will never get anywhere close to drywall, go ahead and remove them now if your box has them. Just unscrew them until they fall off and set the pieces aside as they may be useful in another project. Next, we are going to make the holes that will allow the screws through that will hold everything together. These need to match up with the hole spacing from the first video that held the light socket to the bucket, as the same screws will be reused to hold everything together. In my case, that was 2 1/8 inches apart. Now, you may be saying to yourself that the holes I am making don't look like they are over 2 inches apart, and you are correct. They are just over 1 inch apart. I measured it the completely wrong distance, but I won't notice that until later when I try to put everything together. Go ahead and laugh, I deserve it. After that, we need to knock out 2 of the wiring covers. Now, this sounds like it will be easy, and I expected it to just pull right off. Well, I was wrong. It's not exactly hard, but you will need to put some muscle into it along with some judicious cutting. Just be careful to not cut yourself, as bleeding all over everything tends to anger roommates, parents, and significant others. Once you have them out, go ahead and set the box aside for later. Step 2. Prepare the cord. Grab the cord that we used on the original light. We are going to cut off a short piece, but not too short. The 6 inches that I cut off is a bare minimum. I would recommend cutting off an 8 or 9 inch piece, as it will make wiring everything later go much more smoothly. If it is too short, it won't be able to reach through the bucket at all, so make it longer. If you get too much, you can always cut off the excess. Once you have it split off, go ahead and bare the ends of the wire. The coating on my cord is fairly tough, so it took me a bit to get through it with the Leatherman. Once you have those ends bare, it should look something like this. Bask in the glory of the bare wires for a moment, and then move on to the ends of the rest of the cord. These will also need to be bared, so go ahead and do that now. Once you have everything with the cord prepared, go ahead and set it aside. Step 3. Wire the light socket. Grab the light socket and flip it over in front of you. We are going to take the short section of wire from the previous step and wire it back up. If you don't remember, just refer back to part 1. Once you have them securely attached, go ahead and set this aside as well. Step 4. Test fit the components. This is the precise moment when I noticed that my holes were too close together and fixed my mistake. Don't be like me, measure twice, drill once. As soon as I had fixed that mess, it was on to the test fit. It is much easier to put everything together without the bucket first, just to make sure that the lengths of wire are right and that you will have everything connected properly. It is much easier to do without a 5-gallon bucket in your face, but you can just skip this step and go directly to the final assembly. As long as your holes match up, go ahead and bring the light socket and blue box together. The screws in the socket should pass right through the holes you made in the box if they were done correctly. Go ahead and secure it with the washer and nut, just to make sure that it all fits. My hands are a little too large to fit into the box, so it was a pain in the rear for me to get them started. If you have smaller hands, it should go a lot better. Once you have the nuts secured, push the short cord connected to the light socket into the closest wire opening in the box. Then take the long cord and push its end through the other opening. Make a knot in the cord about 10 inches from the end. This will keep the cord from getting pulled out once it is fully assembled. Next, grab the dimmer switch. As our cord doesn't have a ground, we are going to cut off the exposed end from the green wire and place a small piece of electrical tape on the end to keep it from shorting out. For the rest of the wiring, take one of the black wires on the dimmer and attach it to one of the bare ends on the longer cord with a wire nut. Just place the bare ends next to each other, slide the wire nut over them, and screw it down clockwise until it stops moving. Take the other black wire on the dimmer and use a wire nut to connect it to one of the wires on the short cord. Take the final wire nut and connect the remaining wire from each of the sections of cord. Once all of the wiring is connected, push the wiring into the box and use the screws on the dimmer switch to attach it to the box. At this point, you can screw in a light bulb, plug the cord into the wall, and see if it all works. If the light does not turn on at all, you need to pull it back apart and check your connections. If the light will turn on and off but doesn't dim and just flickers a little as you turn the dial, you did not use dimmable bulbs and will need to replace them. If you have the right bulbs and everything is connected properly, you should be rewarded with a dimming light. Step 5. Final assembly. Once you verify it is functional, carefully take it all back apart. Reassemble it with the bucket between the light socket and the blue box using the same process that we used in step 4. This will be quite a bit harder with the bucket involved, though if you can track down a second pair of hands, it will speed up the process. I am a glutton for punishment and did it all alone, so it is completely possible. Be sure to tighten down the screws that hold everything together nice and snug. You don't want all of this to be able to move around. Double check all of your connections and just take your time and do a good job. I love how much more functional this has made these lights, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this upgrade in the comments below. If this is your first time here on the Hippie Geeks, it would be wonderful to have you subscribe. This channel is all about helping you unleash your life and create a world that you love. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, check out some of our other videos, and come back every Wednesday and Saturday for fresh content. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next one.